Hello everyone, welcome back to another video of the Superhero Chronicles, and this time we're going to be covering Justice League Gods and Monsters, the 2015 animated movie, co-written by Bruce Timm and Alan Barnett, directed by Sam Liu, animation director, starring the vocal talents of Benjamin Bratt as Superman, Michael C. Hall as Batman, Mara Taylor as Wonder Woman, and Jason Isaacs as Lex Luthor, and C. Thomas Howell playing Will Magnus. Now, I want to right off the bat, this is a really, really good movie. It's actually a very interesting movie. I really like it a lot. This is not your traditional Justice League. This is an elseworlds story. These are different interpretations of the characters. It's not even the same characters that we all know. These are completely different people. Pretty much, right off the bat, Superman in this movie is actually the son of General Zod. Right before Krypton explodes, General Zod imprints his DNA into the tube, the cryotube that has, the baby. It has baby Kal-El, and of course his DNA gets imprinted onto the baby, and therefore he becomes son of Zod in lore instead of Jor-El in lore. And what's even fascinating about that is that his name is not even Kal-El in this universe. His name is when he crash lands to Earth, he's pretty much adopted by Mexican immigrants. So this Superman has faced harsh, I guess you could say, racism, if you will, because a lot of people are against illegal, are against immigrants, especially from down south. So he's seeing the harshness of this world, and he has a contempt for it, which I really, really find intriguing for someone like Superman, who is the exact opposite of that. But in this one, he's got that built-in resentment towards humans, which I like right off the bat. And the fact that he was raised by the hard work by the ex-immigrants immigrants just adds on to his character. He's almost because he's essentially, it kind of makes him an alien to both worlds. Like, we all know he's an alien, but it makes him an alien here because he's so withdrawn from humanity, which, because they've been so harsh to his people, makes it all the more intriguing. And I like how he develops further on to the movie. Further on in the movie, he starts to develop into the Superman that we all come to know and like, which is great. Good character. Wonder Woman in this movie is not Diana Prince. This Wonder Woman is Becca, who is the granddaughter of Highfather, who is the ruler of New Genesis. Wonder Woman's got a pretty cool backstory. Essentially, her backstory is Highfather and Darkseid. They come to make a peace between their two worlds. New Genesis and Apocalypse are going to merge to one through Becca marrying Darkseid's son Orion. Well, shortly after Becca and Orion are married, the Highfather pulls a coup and pretty much annihilates all of Apocalypse. He kills Darkseid. He kills all the inhabitants. He even kills Orion, which is what turns Becca against the Highfather and New Genesis, because she the fact that New Genesis had completely annihilated an entire planet, and the fact that the Highfather promised that Orion could be spared, but he ends up killing him anyway. That pretty much alienates Becca from New Genesis, and she uses a womb tube as a wedding gift that Orion had given her to get out of there, because the trust she had has been broken. She was lied to, and she's been hurt. She's been hurt. Someone that she was caring about was killed because of an insane man's quest for peace, I guess. I just like, overall, it's very interesting. And then we get to Batman, who in this universe is Kirk Langstrom. For those who are familiar with Batman lore, Kirk Langstrom is actually Man-Bat, who is a mutated bat-like creature. But this version of Batman is actually pretty cool. He's a scientist, and 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 of course he's friends with the character of Will Magnus, and I really like the friendship between the two in the flashbacks. Like, they really like C. Thomas Howell and Michael C. Hall really play off one another really, really well. Uh, I actually really like Michael C. Hall as Batman. I like the voice that he uses. Like, it's very subdued, very cold, very emotionless. Especially once the thing happens that essentially what happens is that Kirk Langstrom has cancer, and he's trying to find a cure to cure it, but he can't. But his friend found a way to use these things called nanomites. So they applied the nanomites to whatever Kirk Langstrom was working on, but it had a side effect, and it pretty much gave him vampiric qualities, where he has to suck blood to survive. But in this universe, he feeds on criminals, which is pretty cool because it's even though I've never seen the show, I am familiar with it. It's actually a throwback to Dexter, when the serial killer who kills other serial killers. So I like the fact that essentially Batman becomes a vampiric serial killer and he feeds on killers himself, which I thought was a nice little nod to the show, to the show, which is pretty cool in its own right. And the fact that you got Michael C. Hall, who is also Dexter, is a nice touch. But yeah, that's all good. I like the backstories for the three characters are actually really interesting, and the overall story itself is also it's a good little mystery in itself. Pretty much, three scientists are being targeted. And the two major scientists that were found dead. I'm sorry, three major scientists were found dead, and those are Victor Fries, Ray Palmer, and Silas Stone, along with his son Victor Stone. They were all found dead, mutilated. But the thing is that their deaths resemble each power that is possessed by the Justice League, and the world in this Elseworld. The Justice League in this world, they're brute force. They use intimidation and fear to get results in strict justice. So the world is already apprehensive about them because they're not opposed to killing. They actually, you could say, are all for killing. So you got that going. So you got already they're already unchecked with their power. So the world's already uneasy about them. So for a fact. And once these killings start happening, that just heightens up that that level of paranoia that everyone has for these guys. But as the story progresses, we find out that Will Magnus was behind all these killings. Of course, we find out that Magnus is behind these killings because a year after Kirk got his vampiric qualities, he accidentally killed his wife Tina, who he believed was, secretly in love with Kirk because, Tina was constantly bugging Magnus, find a cure, save him, save him, save him. So in a fit of rage, he accidentally kills her. So in his mind, he's like, if an intelligent, benevolent man like himself can do this, then there's really no hope for humanity, which is why he wants to create this nanobiome to pretty much eradicate the entire Earth. And that's the sole reason why he joined this thing that Lex Luthor developed called Project Fairplay, which pretty much puts everyone on a level playing field. But it all because it gives the military it gives the military these weapons that can equal Superman's power and strength and other members of the Justice League's power and strength, so that they have a fighting chance to wipe them out if the League were to really attempt to pull a coup and try to recreate their own image or something like that. So I like how Lex Luthor plays into that with the Project Fairplay, but I also like Lex Luthor's character in general because he's not your typical version of Lex Luthor. This Lex Luthor is more like a Stephen Hawking type character. He's on a quest for knowledge, and he wants to explore new worlds, which is what he does, what happens near the end of the movie. I'll get back to that in a minute. So yeah, the big battle scene happens, which looks fantastic. A lot of the action sequences in this movie are really well done. Animation style is top notch, like it always is with these animated movies. Yeah, there's some inconsistencies here and there, but it's not enough. Well, for me personally, it's not enough to like it ruins the whole movie. I got completely taken out. It's like no, I can let it slide because to me, as long as the story is intriguing, I can get past all. I can get past little nitpicks like animation errors. Thankfully, this is a very intriguing story, and I like the way these characters are being developed. So anyway, all said and done, all three members of the Justice League come together and they take out Magnus. And I actually like what happens because Batman is about to suck Magnus's blood, but then Batman's like, "Your blood probably tastes like crap," and that is and that of course sets Batman on a path to becoming the Batman we all know. At first, he was willing to take a life, but now, because he chose not to take Magnus's life, he's going to be on that path to being the Batman we all know who values life. That long path where he values life. So I like where that's going. And I also like at the end where Becca and Lex, pretty much are going to join forces to go to New Apocalypse to confront the High Father for the actions that he committed against, uh, you know, against the planet of Apocalypse. So I like that little union, that little partnership that's going to happen between those two. And that also plays into Lex Luthor, who is on the quest for knowledge and to discover new worlds. Him going with Becca opens the door for that to happen. And also, it gives Becca a chance to, redeem herself and, get her vengeance, if you will, for what happened. Or at least, get some closure for what happened. And of course, that leaves Batman and Superman on Earth, and they both agree that they should stop killing and actually use their powers. And of course, Lex Luthor gave Superman, the tools of Kryptonian science, and he tells Superman, take these things, be a real hero, use this in the real world to do some good, and that, of course, is what Batman and Superman intend to do. And that's pretty much how the movie ends. So yeah, all in all, this is a really, really good movie. I really like it a lot. Like I said, Benjamin Bratt as Superman, I thought was really good. Michael C. Hall as Batman, I thought was one of the main highlights. C. Thomas Howell as Will Magnus was fantastic. Tamara Taylor as Wonder Woman. A lot of people, find her to be very stock, very generic. I thought she was decent in the role. And Jason Isaacs, I thought he was an okay Lex Luthor. I thought he was very solid Lex as well. The overall story of this movie, again, very, very solid. The animation is top notch. The acting is on point. Very entertaining all the way around. So at the final end of the day, I'm going to give this thing a solid 9 out of 10. It is that damn good, and when you give it a watch, it really is a nice, little elseworld story about an alternative Justice League that's more vicious, that goes from the ferocious side to being the more benevolent team that they're supposed to be. And I thought that was really well handled. Once again, Bruce Timm and his team know how to get the job done when it comes to the DC universe. Well, those are my thoughts on Batman. Those are my thoughts on Justice League Gods and Monsters. Like, comment, subscribe. I'll check you back next time.